So I didn't necessarily have anything in particular to talk about. Um, I mean, the main thing I could talk about is yeah. I mean, the main thing I could talk about is this ChatGPT query that I was just having last night. What it was. Now I gotta get into my. You know what? One of the things that I realized recently is that, or actually I've had this in my mind for the past maybe few weeks, last months, is that when I talk, I know I've had this in the past few months because I talked to Badria about this, possibly Maxine, I don't know. But when I talk, these long pauses that I might take is me trying to find the perfect word. And like right now, I know exactly what I want to say, but it's in terms of saying it in the perfect way or best way possible. Now, it's not like something I consciously do and try to do, but it's something that just happens. And it gets to times like this where I'm not even really trying to think about the next words that's coming out of my mouth, where I can just start to go and just start to flow. And I think that is the point that I really want to get to. And instead, I mean, but you know, and sometimes though, in different conversations, when you don't know as much about what you're talking about, it might help. It definitely does help. Hopefully, you can't hear the. I'm gonna just close the window so you can't hear the sirens and stuff. But it will help. It will help in times where you don't really have like a complete grasp on the topic at hand. So you got to take that time to talk. I mean, to think. You got to take that time to prepare what you want to say. I'm gonna look at that later. I got a notification, but think about what you want to say. And in certain times, it helps to think about what you want to say. But personally, I don't usually think about what I want to say, and especially when I'm just feeling natural, feeling authentic, and just not really caring about who's around me and trying to impress anybody. I'm just flowing. And I feel like that's just how everybody should be, and I don't think that's how everybody is. And I say that because I know that's not how I was. But times like this, where I'm just talking to a camera, really just talking to myself, I know I can talk to myself in any way, shape, or form, but I'm only going to talk to myself in the best way, shape, or form. I'm only going to talk about myself in the best way. Never going to talk about myself and downplay or even talk down on myself. Anyways, that wasn't what I got on the camera to talk about. What I got on the camera to talk about was this ChatGPT query that I was talking to last night. It was about 2 a.m., 2 a.m., prime hours for, reflection and, getting asked. But when when I was on a ChatGPT query, maybe I shouldn't say that. Who cares? It was a joke, anyways. I say that in case somebody looks at this YouTube video and is like, oh, what does Clarence be uploading? Oh my gosh, he talks about nasty stuff at 2 a.m. I don't talk about nasty stuff. It was a joke. Relax. And that's, I guess, another thing. Everybody has different senses of humor, obviously, but it just gets to a point where you just gotta apologize if you offend somebody. Never have bad intentions, but it just might happen that you make a joke one day that would be laughed at by your friends, but then one day they might not be feeling it, so it's like, my fault, OG. Simple as that. But anyways, the ChatGPT query, as I keep running into different tangents, but the ChatGPT query, I went to talk about. I have this one chat box / conversation where I've just been relaying my different thoughts, and some of these thoughts that I've come into the YouTube video and talk about, I've been relaying it to that conversation and just getting riffing off ideas and talking about my thought process and why I do this, that, and the third. And it's really a lot of self-awareness that I'm spewing into this conversation and really get an understanding of things that I do, what I'm going through right now, and how I can be better. What I talked about last night was, you know what, in this case, I have to take a second to think because I really don't remember what I talked about last night. It was relating to, like, I know exactly what it was. It was relating to me feeling like I would start something, put a lot of effort in, put a lot of attention and time and care into it, like selling clothes, or selling wallets, or creating social media content, I'm referring to this last year and then the year before, those instances. And I'm going for it strong for maybe like a month or two. But then I would realize that, or rather, at the end of that month or two stretch, I would feel less motivated to do this and eventually stop doing it at that time, and then chalk it up to something being like, oh, I got bored, or this wasn't fulfilling me. But in reality, like, when I look back at these videos, they're good videos, and I could, like, side note, one of the things that I just came to realize myself maybe like 10-20 minutes ago was, I look at other people and see, oh, if they only did this, bam, well, that, obviously among other things, but if they did this, skyrocketing, right, in terms of progress and doing what they want to do. If they did this, bam, right? If they did this, wow, me, like, what am I doing, bro? Anyways, if they did that, skyrocket, right? So I took a second in that moment to just look at myself, and I'm like, well, what is that one thing that I need to do that'll, skyrocket me, or even just put me in I'm at this step, but just put me right here, you feel me? Or even right here, if I'm not estimating it correctly. I hope you saw that. Right here, And I think that one thing is mainly, I was gonna say consistency, but I don't know if it's consistency more what I just talked to ChatGPT about last night, and that was realigning myself with internal values and internal motivation instead of external motivation and external validation. The things that I was doing for the clothes was money. Selling clothes, creating content to sell product, make money. Creating social media content to blow up, to gain followers, to gain recognition, external validation that what I'm doing is great. But I think instead of consistency, I think one of the things might be realigning myself with internal validation, because when I was making the 3D music videos back at the time, and I'm not gonna lie, the 3D music videos, that's not a thing. You know what? It probably is internal validation because that I need to realign myself with, because the 3D music videos, I was cranking them things out week after week after week after week. Week after week after week after week. But it never was, maybe it got posted, maybe it didn't. Regardless though, it was just the creativity spewing, right? I got the idea, bam. And I haven't made a 3D music video in a minute, and I kind of don't want to right now because I know it takes a lot of time. There are some videos that I can put my effort into, but I think I'm at a different point where I don't, and I was about to say fulfill, but then, that was the same thing that I said before about maybe the clothes or something, but it literally feels different. It feels different with the 3D videos versus the clothes and the social media content, because I recognize that the clothes and the social media was born from external validation and external motivations. I don't know, yin and yang, whatever you want to call it, but born from external validation and external motivations. 3D music videos never had that external validation, external motivation. But I will say though, the one time where it became external, when I actually started doing this work for other people, I didn't really enjoy that process. I mean, it was cool. It was a cool little process, I actually enjoyed one of those videos a lot. Let me not say that. Obviously, I think with the work like this and creative work like this, you gotta enjoy it. And one of the videos I did for Zombie George, shout out that guy, I really like that video. That's a cool little video. I have my ideas. I like the ideas. And that was nice. This whole thing is a learning process, because it's like I can enjoy the process. Obviously, you have to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the process. One of the things ChatGPT said was realign myself with the process and being in love with the process. Wow. But you have to enjoy the process, because even though I was doing it for external gain, like I was getting money in some way from Zombie Joy for doing this video, I still enjoyed every part of it because I had that pure creative freedom and I liked what I was doing. I liked this idea that I had. I liked having that creative freedom to take all of my ideas, because, you know, I'll be having the ideas and whatnot, and put it out there. You know, speaking of ideas, this is kind of a tangent, but overall, internal validation, internal motivation, do it for your own purpose, not for any external means. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't get paid. That does not mean you should not get paid for your work. But don't make it so that you're only doing this work to get paid. You're doing this work because you like doing this work, but you also get paid to do it. But, you know, at the same point, when I don't even know what the fuck I don't even know what the heck I was going to say before, but I don't even know what I was going to say before. I just went on this little tangent, but, you know, the thing with me, and this is kind of tying back to one of those identity videos. I think it was the first video that I made, but you couldn't hear it. I will continue to do what I like. Obviously get paid for it. I don't think I want to continue to just get paid for it, though. You know, what I see for myself is not just getting paid for this, but it is building wealth with this connection of creativity that I have. But who knows, though, at the same time, coming back into this identity thing, obviously I know that, you know, I'll always be creatively fulfilled, but who knows where life will go. I have my idea, I have my vision, but is that backed by external validation? You know, the one vision, one of the images that I keep referring to when I say I have this idea and vision for myself for the future is me sitting on like a stage. It's like fire all around me, but it's me sitting in the front of it, or even just in the back corner of it, knowing that this whole thing around me is the thing that I created. It's my creation. It's my event. These people are here to witness what I made, or what we made as a team. But I enjoyed it a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm the one spearheading the whole thing. And now that, you know, it could be like a creative direction, but I'm never, you know, everything works out in so many ways that you can't even see possible. Like, even me posting this video, I'm gonna look back at this video maybe like a few months from now. Maybe like a year from now, year or two, definitely 10 years, and be like, wow, look how life has changed for the better. Inshallah. I believe that means God willing. Thank the Lord. And it's like this stuff doesn't stress me out, but it like is on my mind though. I mean, in the type of person that I am, I'm gonna get something done. I'm gonna get it done. And what I mean by that is, if something's on my mind, it's gonna get handled, it's gonna get talked about, and it's gonna get worked out. And I'm gonna move forward and move on to the next thing. Look at this, bro. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. So, you know, the first thought that came to my mind was like external validation. Like, why don't I sell this? Why don't I print a bunch of these and sell them? Why would I do that? I don't have to do that though. I need to get this rigged, bro. Like, honestly, I need to get this rigged. Cause I can't. It's already rigged. How do you think I had it in this pose? I was gonna say I need to get this rigged so I can get it in different poses and whatnot. But bro, look at this pose, man. You know, I really Some people think we like each other. Which is like, bro, what are y'all talking about? Oh my gosh! You will not believe what just happened. Was it last night? 2 nights ago, bro. 2 nights ago, bro. 2 nights ago. I'm over here. Shit on me. But I'm over here, you know, opening my home to some of the one of the homies coming over. Because of like these LA riots going on because of ice and whatnot. But, you know, spending the night in John, I'm like, okay, yada, yada, yada. No names will be named. But I'm like, all right, finna go to bed. She like, you want to make out? Huh? No, bro. Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm talking to somebody, bro. And I don't want to mess things up. I don't want to mess things up. Know what I mean? I like her. So I like her, so I don't want to mess things up. So it's like, come on. No! Anyways, yeah. I want to make more of these. I want to post them, but I want to make sure I'm posting them just for internal validation. If I, like, why? Because I want to do something with it, though. Like, I want to do something with this. But what? But what? That's not just for money. That's not just for money, bro. That's not. What do you do with some cool stuff like this? What do you do? What I need is a red. I need a red freaking picture. Because it stands just like this. And I have 2 more. 3 more, really. Some of them are a little more vulgar. But hey, that's the creativity speaking. You know what I mean? That's just my taste speaking. You know, the good thing about women's bodies is like, that's a crazy, nah, not really, low key. I don't know. Who knows? But the good thing about women's bodies compared to men's bodies is there's no like extrusion down here. And when you're wearing like skin tight outfits and you want to accentuate the frame and you want to like be able to look at the silhouette of the body and really appreciate what that is and how that can really make the outfit better. Long story short, skin tight outfit, you know, slim arms, skin tight clothes, whatever, all the way down. And then, but on a man, if you stand to the side, then you'll see the extrusion from the skin tight clothes. If it's a 1-piece suit, you see the extrusion. But for women, you know, it's just gonna be straight down. Feel me? Because there's no extrusion. What do you do with this? Maybe I use this as a ChatGPT query. I want to do something with this. I don't want it to just sit on my desk. I want to put this out for the world. I want to do something with this. What? I don't know. Well, I do have ideas, but I don't want them to be externally motivated. We'll see.